Now, a lot of you think that masonry is okay and it's cool, but it's part of the devil's work. Even the devil needs his infrastructure built up. So on 2455 Masonic Drive in San Jose is the Temple of Satan. One of our rivals is located at that location. Another's is located right by Barnell, a Masonic lodge, right next to a Norteño gang neighborhood. Well, what used to be. So, it is that and the Magnolia faction of the Eastern Star in Santa Cruz, California, that I'm concerned with. And I think they both need to be dealt with. And notice the Masons didn't exactly donate any money to help the Africans. Everything they donate money for is to further their agenda. The scholarships they give are carefully chosen. Everything's carefully thought out. They're stooges for the elite. So there is several places that are on my list. One is the Scottish Rite Center. The other is the Eastern Star in Santa Cruz. And the other is the Valley Medical Center. And the last is the Kaiser Medical Center. Recently had somebody dropped off, stabbed to death, and they died. But, of course, I ain't saying nothing because I ain't a snitch. But you people are all fools if you think you know what's going on in the streets. If you believe what you read in the news, you're fools. I say about 80% of what you read on the police website and on the San Jose Mercury News is fairly accurate. But there's a lot of key details they're leaving out that paints a completely different picture. You know, it's the lack of reporting, it's the oversimplifying, and it's lost in translation. It's being translated and articulated by a bunch of corrupt pigs who are trying to hide something. So, the Scottish Rite, I think it dates back to 1906 on 2nd and San Fernando, when it had its first initiation, I believe. So this is why you have a lot of nightclubs downtown, and also I wanted to point out how the sun symbol. A lot of people say, okay, that symbol is not a symbol of the sun. It's just a yellow half. It's just an arc, right? But it actually is the symbol of the sun, and it's incomplete, just like the pentagram in Washington D.C. is incomplete, and it has to do with the occult. Of course, there's some beams, and part of the beams are speech, language, and literacy. So, and there's 3 things written there. Okay, if you look at all the symbolism that is involved, that's what it is. Using Masonic symbolism to further the great work of the Grand Architect. So, if you look at the pyramid, it's the lower you are on the pyramid, the more work you have to do. Masons constantly make the claim that all Masons are equal, that the 3rd degree Master Mason is treated the same, and they all bow down to the same jurisdiction, that the head of the Worldwide Freemasonry, Albert Pike, for instance, they all bow down to the same chapters and heads and jurisdiction heads. And San Francisco, San Jose, Los Angeles, New York, the obvious cities are important cities for Masons. And there's a lot of Asian Masons and white Masons in San Francisco, and a lot of mafia type guys, and I'm not going to get into it, but basically that's what it is. When it comes to San Jose, I'm surrounded by scum, and you know these fools are plotting on you. Can you blame me for hanging out with a bunch of gangsters? You know, that's what I call life insurance. I'm surrounded by a bunch of eugenicists.